Good day, everyone. Happy Remembrance Day. Rest in peace to all the fallen soldiers who have fought for our freedom all across the globe. With that, I wanted to bring you an update on metaverse, right? So this is an area where we're seeing technology being intertwined with virtual reality and human, right? So human virtual reality, bringing together people in a virtual space, no matter where you're from. So this is a concept that started many years ago as part of this virtual reality. But what's happening now in this metaverse, and Facebook recently changed their name to Meta, right? So that should indicate a lot. So what's happening here? The world is changing. So on a day like today, where we remember the fallen soldiers, we think about it's a pause and a reflection, to me at least, and I think about where we are today, right, on Earth. I think about what's transpired over the past few decades. So with that, what will transpire over the next few decades, right? As technology becomes a crucial factor in each and everyone's lives, no matter where or which part of the world that you are, right? Technology is going to bring a lot of people closer together. And that's really important, especially in a pandemic world, right? No one knows what the next pandemic may or may not look like, when, if, all sorts of things. But we can guarantee something. The large players in the industry, they're looking at metaverse to unite people, right? So what's happening here, there's a lot of requirements, I would say, mandates to get vaccinated. There will be a certain percentage of the population that cannot get the vaccine, may not be willing to get the vaccine, etc. To large companies and enterprises, they probably would look at that as an opportunity, right? So if you wanted to travel, but you don't have the vaccine, or you're unable to get the vaccine, etc., right? This virtual world, this metaverse, might be the right fit, and they can actually profit from that. So where there's profits, there's going to be investments, and investments turn into ROIs. So metaverse is something that is taking the world by storm right now, and maybe a lot of people don't know it, but when you sign into Instagram or Facebook, you'll see the Meta logo on there, right? That's an intro to what's about to come. So NVIDIA, right, the AI chip maker technology, they make GPUs for, which can be used for crypto mining, as well as artificial intelligence, right? So NVIDIA is one of those key companies. I'm not a financial advisor, but in my opinion, NVIDIA has been and will continue to be one of those key companies that a lot of other companies will rely on their technology. So that's going to keep them in, be relative over the coming decade, at least. So with that, let me share my screen. We have a lot to discuss and to go over here. So this is one of my subscriptions. This came out on October 7th, so I do apologize for bringing this a little bit delayed, almost a month later, but I don't have time to read all of this. Only when I have time, I can read the articles, go through them at length, and extract some value. And as I was reading through this particular article, something resonated with me. And it's the fact that we are seeing a lot of large institutions pay attention to the value of NFTs that it brings, as in the form of new business. And the value that some of these games, online games like Axie Infinity, etc., and Decentraland, you can literally live in a virtual / physical world. So you can be in a different part of your city, or you and your relatives or friends can say, let's meet up in Pittsburgh, for example. Let's meet up in Miami, for example, right? You can actually be there virtually while you walk the virtual streets, etc. Now, this virtual space will require very similar things that you require here. You would need land, you would need property, you would need clothing, you would need shoes. So Nike is getting involved in this NFT space, right? You'll be able to buy shoes and traverse through these virtual games with your friends, with your family. Hey, that's a nice attire you're wearing. What is that, Gucci? You know what I mean? So this is the way of the world. We've all been trained, to sit and stare at our screens for the last, couple of years, right? More than any time in probably our human history. So that spawned the idea of let's use technology to the next level. So technology has always been evolving, right? Keep that in mind. This is based on all technology. Technology is evolving, and this is where the metaverse comes in. So back in the early 2000s, when the internet was in its early stages, few investors recognized its potential. But those who did and who bet on the right companies reaped the rewards, right? So Tika Tiwari had mentioned cryptocurrencies back in 2016, and I believe Bitcoin was probably around $400 US at that point in time, right? So just a month, because this article is a month ago, October 7th, 2021, we had just become a $2 trillion market again, right? So I think during the spring, we hit 2.5 and it drew back right down to almost 1 trillion. And as of today, November 11th, we are sitting at $3 trillion in crypto market cap, right? So most of that, well, actually probably about 1.2 trillion is held in BTC only, right? So BTC still has the large amount of, lion's share in terms of in comparison to other altcoins. Ethereum is coming up quickly. But here we are looking at this, and I'm sharing my screen. We have CryptoPunks. So a lot of you might say, what is this CryptoPunks? And it started off as an art, a JPEG. So back in the day, when we look back about, in the mid 90s, what graphics used to look like, it would look similar to this, right? When you zoom up into it, it's pixelated and that's it. So, this is taking the world by storm. So each unique character was randomly generated. And back in 2018, this CryptoPunk literally sold for 3.5 ETH, right? $443. So someone made some money off that. And the previous owner made, I think that much percentage, almost 1,000,000% in less than 3 years. Okay, so the first 39 years as a public company from its IPO in 1982 through 2021, Apple's shares rose a little more than 98,000%. So we're looking at, what we're talking about here is, NFTs is making mainstream. Metaverse, Facebook renaming their name to Metaverse, like that's huge. We're going in a direction that's never been seen before. And as a lot of people are out of jobs, I felt it incumbent upon myself to share some of this information. I'm taking it a bit slow here, so please bear in mind. We can fast forward if you want once the video is uploaded, but I want to inform you that people in the Philippines, for example, they're making about $1,000 to $2,000 a month, right? So that's a lot more than some salaries here in North America. So imagine in other parts of the world, right? So the younger generation is catching on, and that's great for them. I love to see that, right? They're learning the technology, and they're actually enjoying something, enjoying a game, example, and they actually make money off of that, right? So we're going to see more of this. This is not just a fad. It's going to be a trend that's going to expand. So CryptoPunk, number 2,338, under 3 years. So it took under 3 years to deliver a higher return than Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. That's it, folks. I should just end the video right here, because you're like, well, that's it. Just buy some CryptoPunk and away you go, right? But this is phenomenal, to say the least. And I was just kidding, by the way. We're just getting started. I am on a time limit, so I will try to make this as quick as possible without cutting out the juicy details. So the cruelly drawn down digital image went up roughly 10 times more than one of the greatest corporate success stories in history in 1/13 of the time, right? So how is this possible? What's happening here, right? Is this an isolated incident? Is this a one-off? Anyways, one CryptoPunk sold for 5.3 million on August 24th. Another sold for 5.4 million back in July 2021. Two others sold in March for more than 7 million apiece. And one CryptoPunk recently went for a staggering 11.8 million. A new high watermark for CryptoPunk pricing. That's as of last month, October. And Beanie Baby, I remember that from a while ago. Beanie Baby, a digital version. Okay. So those who were early literally could have paid $1,400 for a CryptoPunk and resell that for as high as 3 million. So who's buying these CryptoPunks, and why would they, right? These are great questions. This is just the beginning of a 10x, 100x, and 1,000x winners, right? So the sooner you grasp what's happening and the sooner you get involved as an investor, the better. But I'm not a financial advisor. Please keep that in mind. So in just a minute, we'll introduce you to 2 ways to go for gains as high as 6,400%. And seemingly the mega trend that will explode into mainstream. So we're really literally at the cusp of this. So the rich and famous, this is like a new playground for them, right? You're probably going to see people, famous people, have their pixelated logo on as their their picture, with a watermark on it that shows that, yes, they own that. They own that art, right? So that's going to be validated, for example, through Twitter. We're going to see more platforms incorporating the authenticity of such images, JPEG images, or crypto images, whatever you want to call it, NFTs. So every day, more and more people, especially the young people, are visiting work for play, education, or all of the above. By 2025, it could be one of the most valuable economies in the planet. Not just that, but it could be one of the 20 most valuable economies on the planet, bigger than Israel and Ireland combined. So NVIDIA, I mentioned that before, they think it's going to be a new economy that's larger than our current economy, right? And Mark Zuckerberg says he'd like to move his entire company to this space as soon as possible. So I mentioned this article was at October 2021, and I believe literally 2 weeks after this article was published, Facebook announced quick change to Meta, right? Now they're being known as Meta. So meanwhile, other forward-thinking entrepreneurs and investors are quickly snapping up its trophy assets at a frenzied pace. CryptoPunks happen to be the prime example. Now, there's different types of NFT arts out there, right? CryptoPunks was just happened to be one of the main ones from back in 2018, and they had a great foundation, so it became popular. So the metaverse. The metaverse will contain many trends and technologies, right, that are starting to intersect and intertwine. So you take the power of the internet, the mobility of smartphones and similar devices. There was another article recently that I posted on Instagram. 6-point-something billion people have access to the internet. They can't walk around with gold, but they can buy Bitcoin. Right? They can buy Bitcoin cash. They can buy Ethereum. They can buy any digital asset, literally, right? They can buy assets in relation to NFTs, such as Axie Infinity, AXS, right? They can buy that. So we take the power of the internet, which is, we're going to start converting over to 5G in more locations globally, geographically speaking. We take the power of the internet, the technology, and the smartphones, similar devices of virtual reality, augmented reality, and we're layering the new possibilities of blockchain, right? We see the potential of blockchain, and we put all those three things into the metaverse, where they all merge together. So it sounds like this science fiction, and this is just a fad, and next year everyone's going to wake up and decide to physically fly to different locations, etc. So it sounds like this might be just like we're in a time warp right now, where we just have nothing to do, and the world is going to get back busier than ever. Unfortunately, this is going to continue as a trend, and my concern and my worry was that a lot of people would get left behind, and hopefully that does not happen. Hopefully, if Facebook, taking that opportunity to really become the hot spot for a metaverse, maybe it'll bring everything and everyone together, right? So that's great. It's exciting, to say the least. So this is really the idea of personal connection without a physical contact is laying the groundwork for a completely virtual world where people meet, interact, and have genuine relationships, maybe only as avatars of their real life selves. However, this will go far beyond the enhanced Zoom call. With a virtual reality headset, you'll get a full 3D and some say they're working on 5D or something, 4D. 3D panoramic view of the place you're in and hear everything going on around as if you're in the room, right? Haptic devices, mechanical interfaces that provide physical feedback like touchscreen, your smartphone, vibrating against your fingers. It will be even possible to feel a virtual handshake or hug. So this is similar to teleporting into and out of digital spaces with a completely realistic interaction. In other words, you'll be able to go anywhere and do just about anything from the comfort of an armchair and feel like it's actually happening. Meanwhile, the information conveyed by our mobile devices will also get more and more integrated with our real-world surroundings. With the advent of 5G networks, individual data bandwidth will skyrocket. So it will be possible to experience much higher digitally enhanced worlds as you travel through real physical spaces. During one of its conferences, Adobe put together a great conceptual video of what that may look like. In the video, a person wearing a pair of smart glasses navigates her day while receiving a constant array of enhanced information about her surroundings. So for example, you put on your smart glasses. If this was a smart glasses, I'd be able to say, okay, this is the temperature, outside. I'm, driving down the street and there's traffic, and my glasses will indicate to me the possibility of an accident, etc. So you can Google that if you'd like. You can buy an item in a blockchain-driven transaction. So in that metaverse, you can buy an item, and that item would be a rarity item, right? So if it's on the blockchain, if it's based on the Ethereum blockchain, it'll be a rare item. It will increase in value as time moves forward. So think of it, on a day like today, think of it, maybe let's say 100 years ago, the land was different, the buildings were different. Now we've evolved to where we are today, and I feel this is similar. That's what's going to play out in the future. So large companies are creating this virtual land, if you will. They're putting buildings there. Gucci will own a certain, plot of land. They'll develop that, virtually speaking. And this will continue, right? Because it's not going to stop. It's not going to be one of those, Farmville games that nobody plays anymore, right? Remember that game from Facebook back about 10 years ago? What if they can actually create something right now, and because it has something of real world value, you can actually trade that virtual NFT, sell your sneakers when it goes up in price and skyrockets, right? When Nike gets into this. So 5, 10, 15 years from now, you have an asset, and it's of value, right? So it's like, think back to the 1800s, for example, or the 1700s, where we reside right now. All this was empty land, right? Think back about the growth potential of that. So this is bringing together a physical and virtual world, right? And as we, as a human species, become, we populate the globe, with almost 9 billion people, and who knows if that's going to increase, but it has since I was a kid. It's more than doubled probably. This is a way of containing some of that population, right? So what's happening here? So Roblox, right? A lot of people know Roblox. So Roblox is a very popular game, but it's owned by a company, right? Gucci had their virtual, a virtual sale or a conference on Roblox this year, right? So Roblox, more than 36 million young people are currently using the platform. It went public in March at a valuation of more than 38 billion. That's bigger than S&P 500 companies like AutoZone, General Mills, and Motorola, right? That's huge. So many kids are already using a real world money. If you take your kid out to the gas station, I bet you they'll probably say, hey, can you buy me a Roblox card? And the $25 card is probably not going to be enough. 25 Canadian, they're probably going to want 50 or 100 bucks, right? So they can play in that virtual and buy things, etc. Okay. In May, Gucci held a virtual fashion show. That's what it was, sorry. A virtual fashion show inside Roblox. So that's just dabbling and giving you an idea, because many of us adults, we're probably oblivious to what's happening, right? So your kid goes and they play these games and you have no idea. Oh, it's Roblox. Oh, I need a $50 card, I need a $25 card, $10 card, right? And Gucci's up in there having a fashion show, right? That's crazy. So users were able to walk through various rooms and browse items, and they can purchase special digital Gucci items for the equivalent of $5 each. So we see where this is going, right? I just wanted to spend some time in the introduction and to getting your mindset about what's happening in the metaverse and how NFTs will have, play a role, significant role in that. So the majority of NFTs are currently part of the Ethereum network or blockchain. And an NFT is simply a proof of ownership of a digital asset that's verified by a blockchain. So when you purchase something, it's on the blockchain, so it knows you are the authentic owner. So, Visa bought a CryptoPunk back in August for 150,000 US, right? But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is here. Fidenza recently sold for 3.3 million. What is Fidenza 313? It was purchased for roughly $1,400 2 months earlier, and it netted its owner 235,000% in the span of 8 weeks, right? So I'm just going to pause right here because this article is very long, but this is why I wanted to make this video, right? As I had some time, I'm reading through this NFT because I also need to, I wish I could get more involved in it, right? But I do have other responsibilities. So I'm not doing this full time, but I just wanted to share with you, if you spent the time to look at this video, I hope you appreciate this part because it's opened my eyes, right? As I said, we all have our struggles. We all have, with the new world that we're living in, but this is crazy. This is almost like buying a lottery ticket on a Friday night. 1,400 bucks, somebody bought an artwork and it went up that much. They sold it for 3.3 million. So that's not the most expensive NFT. One was sold for 69 million during the past summer, right? So that's really the highlight of the story I wanted to mention. A digital land grab is already underway. A digital land grab is already underway, right? You can, there's a game, I guess, called Upland, and you can Google this. There's I have to spend some time on that myself, my own knowledge, but there's a game called Upland. It's a property trading, blockchain game. In it, you can buy digital versions of real places in locations such as New York City, San Francisco, and it has its own unique currency that can be converted to and from actual dollars. In December 2020, Upland's digital version of New York Stock Exchange sold for the equivalent of $23,000. It is estimated to be worth more today, which means its owner could make a real-world profit on a fully digital representation of a piece of property. That's beyond crazy. So Upland's longer-term goals include rolling out more geographic areas and allowing 3D property development features, and even allowing players to bring NFT artwork into their virtual buildings, right? So I mentioned Decentraland a few weeks ago, right? Decentraland is a 3D virtual world built on the Ethereum blockchain, the world's largest dApps blockchain. Unlike Roblox, however, and you saw the potential of that, Decentraland is completely owned and operated by its users. And the token associated with that project is called Mana. A few weeks ago, I spoke about that token. It was less than $1, and literally the next week, it just jumped to like $5 US. It was even too fast for me to even buy some, but I wanted to get that message out there for you guys and you know, spread the knowledge, right? Hopefully someone did actually buy that. All right, so they have another one called Land, you know, as part of the Decentraland network. I couldn't find this one. I'm not sure where to buy that one. So in 2017, Decentraland was launched, right? So this is great. You can pause the video to read this. I'm just going to scroll through a little bit here. The metaverse is going to be a huge trend, so big, in fact, we could write countless of pages on all of them, and there's different aspects. But there's some companies here. So EXPI revolves around the metaverse sorts. You can Google that. NVIDIA, one of the best ways to stake in the hardware and software that will help power the metaverse's meteoric growth. And NVIDIA's graphic cards are already well known for rendering realistic gaming environments in computer games. So they'll be a natural fit for the metaverse's complex three-dimensional worlds. So more than that, NVIDIA also launched Omniverse, right? So a lot of companies may actually tap on NVIDIA's shoulders to say, hey, perhaps we can utilize your Omniverse, right? So you can Google that. Looks like a metaverse ETF already. I didn't know that. I'm actually just reading through this now. I skimmed through the article before, but yeah, there's so much information in these things. It's unbelievable. So I've seen NVIDIA go bananas in the last 5 years, and I didn't get into it early enough. I think I missed the boat on that. But based on what I'm reading here, based on what I know about Bitcoin, the mining, and how NVIDIA is involved, we need NVIDIA in this space, right? We need them not just for video games, but to help with mining activities as well. And now with the metaverse, the introduction of metaverse, we'll just see this go beyond phenomenal, in my opinion. So Ethereum under a blue sky scenario could see $25,000 in the coming years. And this one talks about, Rally platform. Okay, so Axie Infinity is a way to play this this metaverse, right? So Mana, Axie, I think that Axie Infinity, that's a company, and SLPs inside of the Axie Infinity game. So that Axie token went from literally dollars to $150 US right now. So that just like went so fast, you know. But something here I wanted to show you. Inside the game, users fight with their animal characters to win digital tokens called small love potions, SLPs. These SLP tokens can be converted to other cryptos and ultimately to fiat currency. That means you can essentially earn real world income just by playing Axie Infinity. That's it. In fact, people in the Philippines have quit their day jobs just to play the game. Some Filipinos made 1,000 to 2,000 per month, more than twice the average salary in the country. So that's great. That's amazing. So Axie Infinity is now the largest blockchain-based game by revenue, generating over 800 million since the start of the year. And that's thanks to, in part, the surge in daily revenue it's seen over the 5 months. So it was minuscule back in May, but look what happened. Daily revenue. So Axie has also seen the user base soar this past year. It now has almost 22 million active players, right? So we're seeing huge growth here. So AXS is the token name. SLP is its secondary token, which is currently probably about 7 cents. AXS is about 150. Look at here. It was on June 1st, it was less than $5. And now this past week, meaning a month ago, it was $155. That's 3,000% thereabouts. That's crazy. And that's just the beginning for this platform. So look at Roblox, look at Axie Infinity. There's something called My Cousin Alice or something like that, another one. It's probably about 15 bucks right now. And some say that that could be the next one. So, excuse me. So, a private investor recently purchased 9 plots of land in this new metaverse of, valued at 1.5 million. Right? So just like real estate anywhere else, some locations inside Axie Infinity are more valuable than others. But even the cheapest plot of land sells for more than $10,000 today. That's the cheapest plot of land in Axie Infinity. So this is why these tokens are just taking off. Some savvy Axie Infinity users are speculating that the game we know today is only the beginning of what is to come. And we couldn't agree more. However, the market hasn't caught on. It's still valuing Axie's tokens as if they were simply stakes in a trendy gaming business. So this here, you can pause the video and you'll see this information here. It went over 800 million since the start of the year, and phenomenal. The ratio in retrospect to other gamings is not there, so we should see more growth for Axie Infinity, especially when you have investors paying 1.5 million for land on that platform. But these things come and go. Okay. In the blue sky, just want to leave you with this. In a blue sky, each AXS would be worth $7,962 per token. That's an increase of over 6,000% from today's price based on circulating supply. A gain like that would turn $500 investment into 32,000, or every 1,000 into 65,000. That's phenomenal. I should pick up a bag. Buy up to price is 136. So that's like a blue sky. If they're really successful in their vision and their business plan and they roll out, you can buy this on Coinbase. I didn't know that either. Kraken or Bitcoin. So Engine. right? So Engine's another one I spoke of. The next big goal for the metaverse is solving this problem. So Axie Infinity, Engine, you know, buy up to $2 ENJ, you buy that in Coinbase and these exchanges. This sounds absolutely ridiculous. People paying millions of dollars for pixelated artwork and digital plots of land. But it's no different than the very early stages of the internet, where the smart money was snapping up domain names and launching crazy new business models. Wealthy investors and tech visionaries can already see our metaverse future. So they're securing the very best trophy assets and properties ahead of the pack. So this is the initial speculative phase of a burgeoning new trend, one built on blazingly fast mobile internet, cryptos, blockchain, virtual reality, and several other breakthrough technologies. The end result will be a rich and varied digital world model that, with our currently physical one, it's going to merge together and intertwine in all kinds of different ways. By the time most people realize what's happening, the biggest fortunes will already be made, right? But if you're not, get into it immediately. So this is something that we need to pay particular attention to. This is something phenomenal, right? I'm just going to try this. Here we go. This is the Axie, so land.axieinfinity.com, right? This is what it kind of looks like. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know how to use this, but you know, it looks kind of simple, right? But you can check it out, and this is all time. So Axie Infinity, AXS. If this really takes off, it will bring value to the token holder. It'll bring value to the purchasers of the land within that ecosystem, and it will spawn new business models, you know, all around. So this is, you know, welcome to an exciting point in time. I'm going to stop sharing. Welcome to an exciting point in time of our life, and in 2021. This will keep us busy for the next, even if we do have some drawbacks in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's getting too expensive. Like there's the metaverse that's taking off, right? We're just at the cusp of metaverse itself. So Facebook is already saying, hey, we're going to go all in. They rebranded as Meta, in short for metaverse. So we are going to see huge potential in this in the coming months and years. So stay tuned, folks. Right. So that's all for now. May you stay blessed. May you be blessed. And until next time, thank you so much. I appreciate it.